What connects all of us is the need and the desire to make art, to express ourselves, to do something. Even though we could say that could be better, that could be different, but the focus is art, the world that speaks for itself. But at this time, I really can't honestly say to a young person, start, do it. I think I know all too well what funds will be cut. I no longer have rosy pink glasses on. We really can't deal with crises. And if the federal government has decided that independent freelance artists aren't going to be adequately paid,
Bridge Markland.
I'm Bridge Markland. I was born in 1961 in West Berlin. I've been a solo freelance artist since 1984. I was trained as a teacher of gymnastics with a focus on dance, but I started gender performance in the 90s very early. In 2002, I put on a large drag festival, Go Drag. And what I haven't mentioned yet, and since 2005, I've put on a series of one-woman shows, one-woman plays of classic German plays, where I work with puppets. And ultimately, it's also a gender and drag performance because I play all of the roles and change very quickly. I'm a professional dancer. I have a professional classical dance education, and then began with modern contemporary. And I've traveled through the entire world, working with a variety of companies. I was born in Sarajevo, it's former Yugoslavia, in 1959. And then I left the country. Then Austria and Braunschweig in Germany, then Dresden, Leipzig, Gera in Altenburg, Hanover, Hamburg. Then my dance career took me to Schleswig-Holstein, and I stayed there for 10 years. And then I found myself at a fork in the road, and quick curiosity drove me to work as a freelancer. And I've been working as a freelancer since 2010. I was born in East Berlin and wanted to study something very different. I actually wanted to study psychology, but I wasn't allowed to. The university told me that I wasn't appropriate for political reasons because I had already been working in the underground community, and so I ended up performing puppet theater in a group. There were 10 of us. It was very colorful and vibrant, and it marked me. And I was 22, I was around 1987, and I watched the puppet theater performers work, and I said, hey, can I take part? And we worked, and theater was sold out for 3 months, and I earned so much money that I thought, oh, I can live on this. Let me start doing puppet theater. And back then, the directors of the Berliner Figurentheater asked me if I would like to start working with them, and then the wall came down, and the fees went up four times, and that was the final argument. And this was the start of a solo career as an artist.
Die homosexuelle Interessengemeinschaft Berlins. Was? Und an deine verdammte Stasi-Akte komme ich auch nicht dran. Wer bist du?
Opa hat gesagt, du bist eine Eisente. Knack, knack.
I think it's so sad if you have wonderful productions where you've been working on for a year and a half, and you only perform it 10 times. It's awful. It has nothing to do with sustainability.
Also Kaltakquise ist für mich das ganz große und das ich auch seit Jahren predige, dass Organisationen wie der Landesverband Freie Darstellende
I've
Künste
said and I've asked the associations
Booking und Touring machen. Es passiert in letzter Zeit
to help booking and touring, and this has gotten better over the years, but it's always organized by people who work on a freelance basis, and they don't have a 100% idea of how it works. We need a proper infrastructure. What you haven't built yourself doesn't exist. But people are worried that they won't have enough projects. And it's happened to me a couple of times. And this is something we have to ask. What does it mean to be self-employed or freelance employed? You've got to be able to delegate well. And I've thought for the freelancers, this is an idea I had, there should be a kind of type of bonus for the summer months, the months where people don't often perform and only prepare. We hope that we can keep this, that the Fonds has given us this research stipend, so that you can conduct research in advance. That's a topic that's very relevant for me. The worst time is when we work within ourselves, unpaid, and it's difficult. When I finished my physical therapy education, I met two women, we founded a group, and we just experimented a whole year long. We just showed each other what we could do. And after a year of this experimentation, we made our first brief performance, and then I wrote a funding application and got a small amount of money that wouldn't be possible to think of today. And I think a 150 square meter office, storage space, rehearsal space, I think I paid $150 for it. It was just crazy. And I had a daughter too, as a single mom. But it was possible. It was very solidary. I was the owner of a theater, and the cultural senator came in and said, "Wow, what great theater you're making. Let me give you some money." That's how it was in Berlin. And we thought, oh, well, West Germany's where it's at, not East Germany. To take time out to research what I have to do in order to keep things going. It's very helpful because when you're in production mode, you can hardly do anything else. It's very difficult. Musicians have this problem as well, and we really need support. It's difficult with the health insurance companies to live with them. You need certain modules that work in a sporty manner that are funded. We can't even write this off in our taxes. Everything that's special, that's part of our field, I would like to be able to write that off. But not yoga. It'd be fantastic if these problems with the KSK or the health insurance companies, if we could just make a deal with them, it'd be wonderful.
Klingt zwar oder ist irgendwie auch lustig gemeint mit dem Wellness des Kollektivs, ist für mich aber irgendwie auch ein relativ.
Might sound funny to combine art and wellness, but for me it's a very important approach. Well, when I think about wellness, I think about a balanced time between working and resting, recovering, living. For me, music. Music is a source. If I only have one project, it's wonderful. I can always concentrate on it. For example, it'd be great if they'd simply got rid of having to make funding applications, if the money was simply there, so you just take it if you need it. I think it'll keep on going. The people won't be quiet about what they need. But this funding that came through the pandemic period, people came together and exchanged, and it's a process that really can't be stopped or reversed now. I can hope that there'll be programs again, but I think we have to stay awake and alert. Could be that we'll end up doing things that are different than what we're doing now. New performance formats might have to develop those in order to keep going. And maybe we might have to do theater in public space in order to be seen. I can only hope that we won't be forgotten.
Spreche ohne Mikro. Oh, jetzt habe ich Mikro. Hallo, hallo.
Solo. Self. Resistant. What? What has? What does the freelance work have? With art. What does freelance work have to do with art? Freelancers are all-rounders in one person. Managers, technicians, writers, directors, choreographers, performers, accountants, teachers, cultural facilitators, DJs, magicians, storytellers, dancers, schedulers, light designers, sound designers, costume designers, photographers, dramaturgs, stage designers, cleaning people, PR speakers, social media, stage technicians. Networkers, dilettantes, curators, archivists, coaches, fantastic drivers, of course. Well, you actually heard everything in our film and some statements, but we wanted to say a little more about it. So as the bubbles have popped and things are going to continue to shrink, we hope that the funding guidelines that have been developed in the recent years will continue, because freelancers like us urgently need research processes so that we can be well prepared, and then we can also settle projects in all of this. And we also want to be able to offer additional performances of our work so that we don't just perform our shows once. And additional performances are very important if we talk about sustainability. We don't only want to talk about political sustainability, but also about artistic and social sustainability. Productions have to travel. They have to be seen throughout the entire country and be presented everywhere so that our art takes care of itself, so that our art can prosper, so that new audiences can be generated. We want to be able to age in the independent performing arts community. What are you doing? Actually, Bridge. Anyways, we urgently demand the cultural funding law and universal basic income so that we can continue to work and travel. Okay, thank you very much. Well, as you see, we are cleaning up here, unpaid, this cleanup. And I can only support this, the demands for a cultural funding law is an absolutely urgent demand. Thank you very much. Please give them a warm round of applause while they clean up.